revenue is what pays the bills, and the ability to get product in and out in a timely fashion, and people in and out to support what needs to go on in order to turn that product. It's kind of the lifeblood. And you wouldn't think something like a stormwater service issue could hamper your access to the point that it would cause problems, but it was something we learned, you know.
Water is our future. Now is the time for communities to plan for enough clean water for all. We need our neighborhoods free from flooding dangers and our lakes and beaches safe for swimming. The pathway to our water future is to build and maintain the infrastructure that allows for economic growth and a good quality of life. Stormwater infrastructure is a key part of this. When we think of infrastructure, we think of roads, bridges, and maybe even our drinking water. However, one type of major infrastructure that is not always at the top of the conversation is stormwater infrastructure.
The stuff under the roads is just as important as what's make up the roads. And there's a whole lot of infrastructure under there that I think a lot of people aren't aware of until there's a problem. Well, so we have a 30,000 square foot building here in Charlotte. Literally, within the couple weeks of closing on the building, showed up one day to find the road was closed, and it was due to some erosion that had come underneath the high section down to the low, and it took out a lot of the dirt underneath the road, and I guess compromised the stormwater stuff as a result of that. And so they just closed it. It had a slight dip apparently, and then the next time we showed up after a heavy rain, it was closed and there was a hole in the road. Initially, you go right to the fact of, boy, I have half the traffic available to me, or half the access that we were counting on for both employees and customers and suppliers. So it was very important to us, for people to be able to get in here and visit us, and it was important for the retail people. One road closure I don't think is a big deal to a large city, but it's huge to the people that are affected by it, and both financially and from the ability to get around. And so we would have been stuck if they didn't have some funding to go take this project and get it through, and they'd probably be still closed today.
Stormwater infrastructure includes storm drain inlets or catch basins, which collect rain runoff, which then flows through a series of pipes, channels, ditches, and a collection of stormwater control measures that reduce flooding risk as well as cleaning the polluted runoff. There are several types of stormwater control measures which all treat or remove pollutants from runoff. A few examples are retention ponds, sand filters, rain gardens, or even stormwater wetlands. Investing in stormwater infrastructure is critical to protecting our residents' lives and businesses, as well as other infrastructure, such as roads and bridges, and more importantly, our natural resources, such as beaches, lakes, and rivers. Local communities save money in the long run when they can easily bounce back from storms that cause rising floodwaters. We can reduce flood risk for homes and businesses by improving drainage, which may include replacing pipes that are too small or repairing broken inlets. Adding rain gardens or irrigating athletic fields with harvested rainwater can also reduce flooding risks. These methods are called green stormwater infrastructure. They help rainwater runoff soak in before it enters the drainage system. Now is the time to get our communities ready to handle floods that threaten property and, more importantly, lives. Water from our streams and lakes serves as the main source of drinking water for most of our state's residents. To protect those water sources, we must clean up the stormwater entering local creeks. Stormwater runoff picks up pollutants such as sediment, fertilizer, motor oil, trash, and even pet waste on its way to the drainage system. New neighborhoods, roads, and shopping centers include designs for stormwater control measures, or SCMs. These measures filter out pollutants and regulate the flow of water as it moves to our creeks, rivers, and lakes. Although the cost of building stormwater control measures may be included in new construction costs, local government still must provide services to support inspection, maintenance, and enforcement. Additionally, in areas with older neighborhoods, communities must look for opportunities to add stormwater control measures in order to reduce both flooding and the impact of polluted runoff. We can start to build our future by making sure public funding is available to improve drainage and clean up polluted runoff. Many communities use stormwater utilities for this purpose, and the fees are based on how much stormwater runoff a property generates. However, data shows that stormwater needs across our communities are underfunded. Making these investments today paves the way for more prosperous growth in the future.